Welcome to the Kendy and Raybo podcast, episode 109, recorded in Anderson's Tremendous Event Centre.
You know the way we do record, and then we pick a spot, which is going to be this spot probably. Yeah. Not a child wash would have been good. Anyway, welcome Ray back to Anderson's Tremendous Event Centre. Are we keeping that going?
And the wonderful food items.
Yeah, so we're still there, are we?
Oh yeah, well it's given employment to Luke Stevani.
Oh, but fair play to Luke Devani in
if we're not
Luke's
in
music fashions.
Anderson's Tremendous Event Centre and wonderful food items, sure.
He has no work.
He has no work.
Yeah, okay, well we better stay here in Anderson, so we're departing ourselves to Anderson's yet again, lads.
You're very loud again in my head.
But we're at the same level, you dirty ignorant good for nothing.
I don't know. What?
Yeah. Same level.
Same level, just louder voice.
Will I pull down?
Pull, thank you.
Yeah.
Pull me down.
Okay, I'm going to pull you down.
Thank you.
Welcome back for a big old sexy weekend for the McAndrews now.
It was now. Can we stop? We won't go there yet.
Okay.
I'm all podcasted out.
Why? Oh, listen.
I don't do 2 in a week.
Listen, it's a nightmare. You know, you see all these people nowadays, like Tommy's and Hector and the pair of Johnnies.
Pair of Johnnies.
They all do 2 episodes a week now, and they put one of them out, like what we should be doing on our Patreon. And we've talked about, we should do an extra one for the people on our Patreon. Yeah, let's work towards that. Fuck, man, we did 2 podcasts this week, and it's too much.
It's far too much.
It's fucking
We
hard,
haven't even done 2 yet.
Yeah, I know, we're starting the second one. The great thing about the first podcast is, for the first time in a long time, we had content and an actual something to work towards for us. Yeah. And what we're talking about, lads, is the Event by podcast, which was commissioned by the event management course in Sligo IT.
I believe so.
And
Janice, Luke and Rebecca is all we know of. There could be shadows in the background.
Oh, there's probably loads of people working on it, Ray, including me and you. We were asked to interview some experts of the industry.
You were.
And we couldn't find any, so we got Shane Gillen and Brendan Tierney to stand in instead. But we could talk to them about events and let them do the speaking, which reminds me of the times when we used to get people in when we were stuck.
Yeah.
Which is no insult to any of the guests we had. But anytime we got guests in, it was Ray'd ring and go, I haven't much this week, Jaxie.
Yeah.
When we get someone in, because they can do most of the talking, and we did that yesterday. Now, that podcast, Raymond, is coming out when?
Thursday at 7.
Yeah. On what?
On the Spotify and the Apple.
So all they have to do is search Event Bite.
Yeah, all one word.
Event Bite, all one word, and you'll hear a lovely, about an hour's long conversation about the state of the industry, hosted by Kendy and Raybo, so it has the Kendy and Raybo vibe.
You did more hosting now than I did.
Well, there's this weird thing that happens when me and you have to step up, like.
No. Okay, when me and you have to step up, you step up and I stay myself.
Yeah, but do you think I step up too much and go too radio, like? Because when you're doing something for someone else. No, hang on, though. Don't be this shit now, okay?
Yeah.
When you do something for someone else, you kind of have to be a little bit professional. And I fucking hate saying that we're not professional as well, Ray. Do you know what the most annoying thing Irish people do, right?
Right.
Is pretend that they're just mad cracking. Oh, we always talk shite or whatever. And we play that card way too much.
Huh?
You know when people message us and say, lads, I'm listening to you there, listen to 40 episodes, which reminds me of shoutouts at the end. Remind me of that.
I will.
You know, then we message back and say, just talking shite. Like, I fucking hate when we say that, and I still say it all the time. Oh. Because I think it's too easy to sit back and go, sure, we talk shite.
So,
you know?
Yes, putting ourselves down.
No, it's not really, though. I think it's actually putting ourselves up. It's kind of going, all right, shite talk between Irish, and we love doing this, and we're great at it.
Are you saying something to aspire to?
Yeah, don't be so confident with your shite talk. We're way too confident in this shite talk industry. You know? So I'm always trying to fucking jazz it up then when we're asked to do something professional.
You've hidden something there now.
Go on.
That is our business.
Shite talk.
Shite talk. So is shite talk different to normal talk?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. See, you're going, I don't know about that normal talk Kendy you were throwing in yesterday. Like, come on, Ray. It can't be all shite talk. Especially if we want to be industry leaders, Ray, and we want to fucking wallop.
Well,
we have to step up and go, we can do it, lads. When you ask us, we can fucking be professional.
I think there is a difference between shite talk and normal talk.
Okay.
Because in my life, I've experienced normal talk. God, it's boring. Oh, it's.
But you know what I'm saying, though?
You watch the minutes of your life sapping away, and you know you'll need them at the end. Yeah. You know?
I don't know if you'd want them at the end. Oh, that reminds me at the end as well. At my feckin' journaling this week, Ray, went really kind of went deep. It asked one of the big questions we all ask ourselves every day. I love
the way you've brought a whole section into the podcast. That's a weekly bit now.
Well, I mean, we talked about journaling a couple of weeks ago, and you said, would you get into it? And I said, come on, so.
Yeah, and how did you get on with Eva Clancy? Did you get on to her?
No, but we do have to do that, though,
Yes.
because that actually caught a little bit of traction during the week of people saying, go on, sure, go for it. So,
But on the other side, my sister Joanne came back to me and she said, I totally agree with what Kendy says. No one wants to feel that way.
it's true, though.
And then her new husband, Michael, turned around and said, Aaron, no, once you get over the 2 weeks,
Well,
grand.
I would never really fond of Michael anyway, so I agree with what Joanne said. That's really nice.
Yeah. We were there now. We're talking about shite talk.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that it's an awful thing to be falling back on and kind of being proud of.
Yeah.
You know, all right, the shite talk, sure, we're great at it. So I hate that mentality.
Of something else.
Yeah.
I know we're not into shoutouts just yet, but we might as well go for it because this has popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lady that listens to the podcast. She's a new fan.
Lovely.
Yeah, she's only started there only recently. Her name's Lucy Foley.
Lovely.
Right?
Go on.
Lucy's big into the sports.
Okay.
Right? She's
Jane Swordsball.
the guy.
Right, okay.
She does enjoy the guy.
The boys or the playing?
Oh, fierce. Well, the playing. And she's fierce competitive.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
You know, she'd be like your mother, but on the pitch.
Yeah, okay.
Effing and blinding and giving out to everybody.
Yeah.
But I have since found out that Lucy is an avid fan of now our podcast.
Okay.
And she listens to us whilst training.
Oh, lovely. Why, she's out poking ball.
That's right.
Okay.
But she also said that she also loves listening to actual sports and training podcasts.
Okay.
But she says she can't listen to them when she's training because it's, how did she put it? It will distract her because she'll want to listen to how they're doing it. So she can't focus on her own training.
So she has to listen to...
So, shite talk.
Shite talk. Fuck it, like.
She said the shite talk is really easy going and it can happen in the background while she's out pucking ball.
Yeah, well, that's always what we would say is that we pretend we're having a conversation in the room while you're doing something.
Yeah, or in the car, we'd be sitting in the back seat.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so if that helps Lucy, then that's good. While she's pucking a size 5 around the place.
Yeah.
Oh, the women play with a size 4, don't they?
What's the size? What do you? A shoe?
You're old fella, lose the head, Ray. If you keep talking like this.
Don't even talk about that, lad. Do you know what he said to me the last night?
Go on.
I fell asleep listening to your podcast the last night.
Loads of people say that to us, though. Loads of people say, "Yeah, I do put it on when I fall asleep."
Go away.
Yeah, which makes me go, "Oh, so we're that boring." Like, if you can't sleep, listen to Kendy or Raybo.
Have I told you that a couple of edits back I fell asleep listening to us?
In the middle of an edit.
Yeah, I was editing and I fell asleep about 20 minutes from the end, and I woke up at the end. I was like, "I'm sure that's all fine." Sure, I didn't say anything that's going to get me sacked.
It's a pandemic, Ray. I'm not surprised you're falling asleep during some of these fucking podcasts. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
We're trying to stretch out the content.
Where are we going now?
Okay.
Beers.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, let's start with the beers.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I think we've started with the shite talk analysis.
Go into the beers. Come on.
We'll go into the beers.
Let's
do you want
it.
the one on the left or the one on the right?
I'll go for the one on the right, Ray. I've always said I lean right. Usually.
Right there you go then. So,
Okay.
again, is it Stephen Miles that has provided us with these?
They all got so mixed up in my fridge that it's either Stephen Miles or Joanne McAndrew. But
all right.
So, yeah, I think this is Stephen Miles, though, 'cause it's a Kinnegar. Bucket and Spade, this one's called, and it's a Session Ray. What do you think it is? An IPA. Of course, it's a feckin' IPA. Everything's an IPA now.
Mine's an IPA too.
Oh, they're always IPAs, man. Everything's an IPA.
Mine's a full Irish.
Oh, you have the big, heavy breakfast beer.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's crack it and see, mate.
Ready yourself for the stomach noises. Lovely, Harlan.
I'm actually looking forward to this one, Ray. I'm looking forward to this drink.
Go on.
And I'll tell you why now when I take a sucky out of it.
I'll keep talking then, so while you're... Why is there so many empty bottles of Lucozade in your bin?
Oh, man.
What were you doing? And chalk ice wrappers. Empty bottles of Lucozade and chalk ice wrappers. Did you have a bad week?
It's Anderson's bin.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Who here in Anderson's is drinking all the Lucozade?
Well, whoever it is in Anderson's that's drinking all the Lucozade, he's obviously doing a lot of gaming and needs that kind of glucose rehydration.
Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. One of the chefs saw them.
Must be big into the PlayStation 5.
One sip of drink and I've given the whole game away.
Oh, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
How was your beer?
The beer is lovely, and that's what I was going to say. Here's why. Because she about 16 degrees today.
It was warm.
It's unreal.
I went for a walk in a t-shirt.
In the unreal, I wore a t-shirt and shorts all day. Look at me, Ray, in front of you. You can see me fucking pegs again.
You're the picture of the spring.
Isn't it unreal, though? I love when the weather hits like that all of a sudden. You
We'll
don't
have
give
to
a
get the fan back.
Oh, do you remember the first year? Oh, Jesus Christ. You wouldn't need it in this room, though. In Anderson's. Because it's all fucking warm here.
In the smoking area.
Shit, man. We can't keep this up.
We can. We're well able.
But here's the thing. We're not lying, though. We're not lying. We recorded at Anderson's and we still do loads and loads and loads.
Yeah.
Now, big weekend. Will we get into that?
We might as well.
We might as well get into that.
Yeah. And I'm very conscious of not talking too much about it, but it's all I have to talk about.
It's the only thing that happened.
It's the only thing that happened in my life.
But it's okay. When I started first, and this isn't an intervention, Ray, okay? So don't feel like I'm coming at you from a bad angle here or anything like that, okay?
Right.
Will you stop buying P8s, please, if you don't mind? Okay?
I didn't buy one myself.
It's in our house now because Joanna and Michael are still enjoying their little bit of time off since they got married at
on the
weekend.
mini-moon.
Yeah, and we are holding some of their presents in our house.
Why are you holding their presents?
Because you never know around this town, as my mother would say. You never know.
So there was a security issue with all of this stuff.
Well, here's
in their
one.
House.
Here's one that I heard, Ray. Right, and this is why we're holding all the presents.
Right.
In back home a while ago, a fella posted up on his Facebook. Unbelievable. Got a brand new PlayStation 5 in the flat screen, lads. I'm absolutely delighted. They got robbed that night. Stop laughing, man.
This is in a town with a prison.
Yeah, but stop laughing at it, though, because it's awful. But it is, he put it up on Facebook, and someone said, oh, lovely, I'll take that. That's awful. I shouldn't laugh at that, man. But that's that's why we're holding presents here.
The audacity of some people.
Oh, fucking hell, the audacity of some people.
No, but same with Joanna and Michael. They obviously put it up on Facebook. Well, that's another story. That they got married,
Yeah.
And actually, we'll get into that first.
Well, they haven't been in. No, sorry. So they haven't been in the house for weeks. So we're holding on to some of the presents that were got.
Oh, yeah.
We saw the present you got them. You bought them a PA.
I didn't buy it on my own.
Stop buying PAs for people.
It wasn't my idea.
Go on. Whose idea?
Sister Marie said, "What did we get them?"
You said a PA.
As a sibling present, and she said, maybe a PA. And I said, I would love to buy them a PA.
It's been so long.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a big PA. It was just one speaker.
Yeah, they are going to knock use out of it. Anyway, I just thought that I had to address that with you first, that you have a PA problem.
Okay, I thought you were going to hit me for sound checking the priest mic on the live stream.
That's another one. Okay, so the wedding gets live streamed, right? So friends and family who couldn't be in the 8, could watch it. So Kendy and Nicola are sitting down watching it in Sligo.
Yeah,
and
popcorn out.
Good friend of ours, Derek Gorham, is watching then in Castlereagh.
Right.
And we're watching. Ray's tipping around. Not much to be doing at a wedding when there's only 8 people there, so you had no real jobs.
I was a groomsman.
You were a groomsman, but
right.
you had to kind of settle going, this isn't Ray's day.
Yeah.
Ray went up and sound checked the priest mic. 1 2 1 2. And I was going, and I got a phone call from Derek straight away. Jesus Christ, tell Ray to stop working at the
I don't
wedding.
remember this.
You don't know you did it.
I don't remember it.
Subconscious, man.
Do you think I'm just something I do? I can't pass a mic without going 1 2.
You had to. You went up and tested. Derek grabbed me and said, would you tell him he'd stop working? Like,
I've no memory of it. I nearly watched the thing back to see how I sleepwalked through activity.
I mean, wouldn't that be an interesting concept, like if you did have video evidence of everything someone does that they don't know they do? Because we have video evidence of you going up. Right. Irrefutable evidence of you going up sound checking the priest mic.
I did enjoy it.
You enjoyed
I enjoyed the sound. I enjoyed doing sound again in a church.
Yeah, so you were doing the sound in the church.
I was, in fairness. I took over the whole thing.
Yeah, fuck's sake, right?
Yeah, sorry about that now. Sure, look, I had to be at something.
But anyway, from watching it, what a beautiful wedding.
Well, it was just marvellous.
I got to watch it in a pair of shorts and not a suit. Like, I actually enjoyed that aspect of it. Like,
there was no pressure. There was no one looking at me.
No.
Do you know, not that it was about me. I really enjoyed that bit.
Your day.
The morning.
Didn't Michael look gorgeous, by the way?
Never mind, Michael.
Oh, didn't he look gorgeous?
The morning in the house was something else.
Right.
It was the first time in our house we ever got takeaway breakfast.
Okay.
Friend of Joanna owns a restaurant.
Oh, lovely.
And they threw us in loads of fries.
Sausages, the whole feckin' lot.
Oh, it was lovely.
White pudding.
Yeah, the mother was walking around not knowing what to do.
Well, she liked Mrs. Doyle when they get the tea machine.
But she had the apron on.
Right.
She had the fancy apron on that herself got her for the Christmas. And she was tipping around the house, looking marvellous, with the hair done up in rollers and everything.
Lovely.
And she had no reason to be there.
All dressed up and nowhere to go.
Yeah, there was awful stress about mass booklets.
Okay.
That's a factor of weddings that I wasn't aware of as a thing.
Man, I've been dealing with mass booklets for a year, man.
Have you?
No, stop, Rick.
Oh, but Joanne left her the night before.
Seriously, it's not right, like.
What?
Nicola's looking at... I can't be talking too loud because she's in Anderson's right now, right? She'd be on about these mass booklets. And what about this word here? And I was thinking about this Sam here. Nick, I couldn't give a shite about a mass booklet.
She's very on the ball.
How is this in my life every day? Yeah. How is there a mass booklet in Kendy's life every day? How is that? I didn't sign up for that. Like.
It's something you don't realise.
There's an awful lot of shite that goes into it.
When you handed over the ring, you didn't think mass booklets was going to be a factor of your life.
No, I didn't want it.
Yeah.
I would have taken that or leaving it. Actually, I would have just left it, to be honest.
Now, if you had proposed to my sister Joanne, you wouldn't have had to hear about the mass
she would have
booklet.
done it the night before.
Because she would have had to do it the night before and it was awful stress. I was stapling mass booklets the morning of the wedding.
Oh, man. Well, you have to, the priest has to okay it, man.
I was delighted there was less than, 8 at it.
Yeah, I know. So you only had to staple about 8 of them.
8
so did you print them at home then as well yourself?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Self-sufficient.
That's very good because I think we might be getting ours printed. But we have big money. No, that's a different thing.
Yeah, give me a shout. I'll sort it out.
Will you staple it?
I will, yeah.
Oh, a staple of the whole thing, Ray, you would be.
There wasn't a hairdresser there and there wasn't a makeup artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
It refused me. There was not a hairdresser or a makeup artist.
Now, in fairness, all our hair, including mine, looked really well.
Yeah. I don't know how it looked professional.
Yeah.
It looked like it was done by someone else.
If there was a hairdresser there, I probably would have utilised that hairdresser.
Yeah, and maybe got a cut, no?
No, not a cut, just a very keen stylage.
Okay, yeah. Something that you have never been capable of doing yourself.
No, and that was the thing.
Which is weird that you did it that one day.
Yeah, I just got lucky, I suppose.
Unreal.
But if a hairdresser had been there, I probably would have suggested, well, if you're doing the bridesmaids and the bride, why don't you do me as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so she did me.
No, she would have done you.
She didn't.
So she would have done me, and she would have made you look unreal because you would have looked unreal from what I was watching. But
luckily, I managed to just swing at me myself.
Yeah, it looked tremendous, Ray. You all look marvelous now. That's the one thing I will say.
Thanks very much.
You all look gorgeous now. I have to say.
What else about it was interesting?
Well, I mean, they got through the wedding part of it, right? And then the stream went off, and Kendy and Nicola, we weren't invited to the buffet, obviously.
No, the buffet was
you didn't live stream you ate in the food, like. No, and then we'd have a bit of food with you.
We did do something that I don't think was spoken about in the last podcast.
Okay.
It was, we had live music where there wasn't live music.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And
I was so proud of myself.
Did it work out all right?
It actually worked.
It worked?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is a big shout out to anyone thinking about getting married in the restrictions.
Yes.
Right? What you can do is bring in a big television.
Uh-huh.
And find your local musician, ring him on the Zoom, and he'll be up on the telly, and he'll play songs, and you'd be in the room, and you'd be dancing.
And sound-wise?
Brilliant.
Sounded good.
Oh,
who was the local musician?
Noel Kenny.
Noel Kenny. Wasn't he on this podcast before, Ray?
He has been a previous guest.
Yes, he has.
And halfway through his set, a gentleman arrived at his front door with a plate of cocktail sausages and a small bit of tea.
No way. No way.
No, it didn't happen.
Oh, would have been the best thing that ever happened, Ray, if that was true.
Isn't that lovely if we could have done that?
What a class idea. Is if halfway through Noel goes, tea, coffee and sandwiches, folks.
Yeah.
And then he gets them then.
And he gets them.
Oh, that would have been unreal, Ray. We should have organised that at all.
For the first dance, I have to ask you, from your perspective with Hot Fuzz, how do you get the crowd on the floor for the first dance?
I haven't done this in a while, Ray. So
all right. You're rusty, right? Okay.
How's it going, folks? We are Hot Fuzz. We are your host for tonight. We're just a couple of minutes away from the first dance. The bride and groom are tagging out on the sideline. Yeah. First of all, can we try and get everybody up off your seats? We have to give them a big welcome back into the room again. We're going to get a circle going around the dance floor. Can you all up off your seats? Everyone, Mary, I can see you down the back. Up.
What
she's
song
shifting.
do you play?
Stay there. Oh, we play bam bam da 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 da.
Oh, okay.
Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Very
nice, yeah.
But you have to have a jumpy one. Do you know what we do, Ray?
What?
Right? And don't you wedding bands out there be stealing this from Hot Fuzz because we have trademark and copyrighted it, right? So we do that to Steve Miller Band. Some people call me Space Kendy.
Yeah.
And then we bring it into Girl, You're My Angel.
Oh,
You're my
lovely.
darling.
Right.
Because it's the same chords, Ray.
Can I ask
And
you...
that gets a lot of the women going.
Okay.
They love to do the little shoulder dance to that one. You know, the, Girl, you're my angel. You're my dad. So that usually works. And then we just jazz it up. They're coming, folks. We need a lot of energy. And then that builds the energy.
Are you familiar with one of the wedding bands on the circuit that you're familiar with?
Kind of a fucking sentence.
Doing a song, it's a bookmarked. Doing a song, you know that? Give it up,
Yep.
David, give it up.
Yes. Should I die, scared that I died, don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be familiar with a band that does that to get people on the floor?
No, we do that. That's a mid-setter.
Oh.
That's a mid-setter, man.
Well.
What happens is now, and I'm glad you got me talking about the wedding business, considering that I haven't been in it in so long and talked about it in so long. You might do a jive, Ray.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
20 minutes. Keep the old ones happy. You might do a waltz, Raymond. All early on while the young ones are not out dancing and jiving and they're drinking.
Okay.
All of a sudden, you could be a half an hour, 35 minutes into a set, Ray.
Yeah.
Then you wallop the ACs. And that's when the ACs kicks in. When the waltz is over, and again, don't be taking Hot Fuzz's idea. When the waltz is over, you hear the boom, boom, boom. change in the set. We're into the 80s, and that's the song. Give It Up is the song that's used.
All I wanted to know was just, did you know anyone that used that? But of course, you really want to talk about your own industry.
It's been so long, Ray. It's been way too long.
The reason I asked you that is because when Noel was about to do the first dance, our Noel didn't have the wherewithal to buzz it up and to get everybody on the floor.
8 people going.
Yeah. So Marie, who plays with the #1 top premier wedding band in Ireland,
the Brian McDermott band. Brian McDermott band featuring Brian McDermott.
Yeah. She decided to take it upon herself to get everybody jizzed up and on the floor.
So she's the same as me now. She was as excited as I am right now.
So she started going, baby, give it up. Yeah, everybody on the floor. Baby, give it up. Woo! Oh, and everybody dance. Woo!
Well, I'm glad that she didn't use Steve Miller Band then. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
She had her own way of getting everybody on the floor.
Well, every wedding band has their own way of getting people on the floor. Right?
Well, it must be the Brian McDermott's band then, so that does that.
They must use Give It Up.
Because she just instinctively knew. Instinctively. No, instinctually.
Fuck, I said it, I'm going with it.
Yeah.
She instinctually knew that that's what she had to do.
That's what she had to do to get them all jizzed up and on the floor.
Well, it's great to know that people haven't lost us, because that's one of the worries with our industry, Ray, is that we will lose
the talents.
Lose what we have going for us, which is getting people up out onto the floor. Folks, you can hear it. I'm getting it back into my voice already. You know what I mean?
You don't lose that.
You don't lose that, Ray. That's in the back of the head all the time. Fair play to Marie for holding on to us.
That was one of my points.
Okay.
See, I wrote things down at the wedding.
Okay.
So I'd remembered them to talk to you. Who were all these people?
What does that mean?
That was a comment that was said as we came out of the church earlier in the day. Because some neighbours had arrived.
Oh, to see.
To witness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then one of the people that wasn't from the parish. Who were all these people?
So one of the outsiders, one of Michael's side of the family.
Yeah, Michael's best man's fiancé.
Said who?
Sarah. She said, who are all these people?
Well, did I tell you, because there's different rules out the country, Ray.
Go on.
And not to be giving out about you, it wasn't your family that done it, like, it was just your parish.
Yeah.
So I was live streaming a funeral. Did I tell this story, no?
No.
Okay, great. I was live streaming a funeral outside of Sligo a couple weeks ago in a very rural area of Sligo.
That's what you do now.
Well, that's how I live now, okay? Yeah. So
Dead people events.
The idea is that obviously for weddings like Ugandan funerals nowadays is that you can't have huge numbers at them. There was only 6 allowed. You know what I mean? Now I know the funeral is going up to 25 now, but I wanted to put a mic down on a pew. Isn't that what they call them? Pew, where they sit people down on, and to pick up the musicians on the live stream, we'll say that we're playing. Okay. Yeah. And I said, I'm going to lay this on the pew beside you, the very back pew inside in the church.
Pew.
And he says, I wouldn't leave it there. There'd be people sitting there.
Huh?
And I said, no, there definitely wouldn't be people sitting here. Sure, they'd be all up the front. And he said, you're in the country now, boy.
Kendy, it's rampant.
Isn't it unbelievable?
You know the way there's webcams.
Can we talk about this now? We're busting this case wide open.
Prime time investigates.
Oh, now. Okay, let's bust this whole fecka. We're about to blow the roof off this thing, Ray.
I can't say much about this.
We just said we're going to blow the roof off us.
I don't know how we're going to do it without giving things away. But let's just say that webcams in churches only pick up the front of the church.
Now. You're in the country now, boys, to see to Kendy, and the priest says make sure you only pick up the front 2 pews.
Yeah.
Pew.
Or let's just turn off the webcam altogether. So nobody can see anything if there's a big crowd in.
No. And look, face masks were worn and all that kind of stuff, and there's 25 allowed in now. We're not giving out about these people, right? No. If you want to give out, come to me and I'll tell you go away and shite. Yeah. Right? But we're just saying that this stuff was happening.
It's happening.
Rural Ireland, boy, and you alluded to it, Ray, a couple of weeks ago, right? When you blew the roof, you whistle blew on the whole situation that was going on. When you turned to Kendy and you said, the government have said that we're allowed to do some of the stuff that we've already been doing for ages.
That's mighty.
And that's what's going on there now.
Yeah.
Because the country's fed up.
Where were we now?
Oh fuck! We're after whistleblowing on the whole country.
Who were all these people?
Yeah,
there was a a group of friends singing songs and giving praise.
Okay.
When we came out of the church.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Well, some of the things we did when we got the pictures taken.
Yeah.
The photographer, fair play to her, Caroline.
Yes.
She's very talented.
Wonderful woman, fair play to her.
She Pink Lime Productions or Pink Lime Studios? I don't know.
Well, if you search Pink Lime anyway, you'll find them.
Yeah, she's tremendous and she's very good at putting everybody at ease. But she wasn't there either, by the way. I don't know how you're allowed to have a photographer.
No,
but if they had a photographer, it would have definitely been Caroline.
And she would have been class.
Oh, she would have. She does great work.
Well, what would she have done then when you were taking the photos?
Oh, she would have done a very odd thing.
Right, okay.
But she said that she would have said that that we'll take an individual photo of everybody.
Oh, lovely, like a headshot,
like an obituary photo. Do you know? Or if I got lost sometime in the future, that'd be the photo they'd use.
So you could use you on the side of a milk carton kind of thing. And where's your one? Did it turn out well?
I don't know. If she did do the wedding, we wouldn't get them for a few weeks.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't have got them for a few weeks is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, fair play to her I'm sure if she was there, it would have been class.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know if photographers are allowed. We probably should check that.
Well, we're going to check that before this goes out.
Flute drop.
I mean, who done it? How many pints were you in?
Many pints. It was Cormac, the best man.
And he had a couple of pints.
He pulled out his flute.
Oh, look, Ray.
No, he hasn't used it in a long time.
I know, I can only imagine, man, especially during the pandemic.
Yeah. But
did anyone pull out the box with him, no?
Yeah, Michael pulled out his box.
Oh, fucking hell. So the flute and the box were out when the pints were flowing.
Yeah, and the best man, Cormac, he only played one song.
you didn't last too long.
Yeah, because he put it back in the box and we kind of commented and said, that's a bit like something you'd see a rapper do. They come out, do one tune, then drop the mic.
Yes.
So what Cormac did, he come out and dropped the flute.
So he played a song and dropped out the flute. Yeah. But you know what? When you haven't used it in so long, I'm not surprised that
he was out of breath.
Yeah, that he kind of blew the load early on us and he was finished. You know what I mean? And he probably apologised to you. He probably said, sorry, I haven't done this in a while.
It's dawning on me now that I have very little from the wedding.
But that's okay.
That's all right, yeah. During the session that might have happened, had there been an afters, there was a very funny moment where there would have been a very... this is so hard.
You're allowed to have it afters, I think.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah, let's go.
A family grouping after the wedding.
Yeah.
There were some songs played.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play you now a little clip of one of the songs. It was a dance tune.
Okay.
And it features my sister Marie on acoustic guitar and vocals.
Oh, lovely.
And my sister Joanne on the fiddle.
Well, that's how every dance tune should start. So
see, can you recognise this dance tune?
Okay, perfect. Okay. It's Indian music. Touch the sky. I know that tune.
You know the tune?
Yeah. Skilly idle.
Like, what has this society come to when that's the sort of stuff that's getting pulled out at the after wedding session?
I'll tell you what, Joanne was well able to wallop it on a fiddle, though.
But Marie was doing very well.
really well.
She was doing very well at the,
Yeah. What's it called? Touch the sky.
Something like that.
Touch this guy.
Touch this guy.
Touch the sky.
Right. That was all the highlights of the whole weekend.
Well, look, I'm delighted that they went ahead with it and they done it, and I'm delighted for Joanna and Michael that they can now call themselves husband and wife.
Yeah.
They were tremendous. Okay, can I say my piece then now?
Yes, you can say your piece.
The most nervous I've been about my journal so far, and I think this is like week 4 of it or some shit, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This is it, because I asked myself one of life's great questions.
Am I a wanker?
Well, I might actually. Maybe I should ask myself that one next week. Actually,
yeah, that's a good one.
I'm trying to get as introspective, more introspective every single week when I do this, Ray. Okay. So this week, a couple of days ago, I sat down to my little journal, lit a candle.
Yeah. Charged the crystals.
Filled a bath.
Lovely.
Right. I didn't use it, and I blew out the candle because I said I can't see my phone. So this is what I got to. Do you want to hear it?
Yep. Go for it.
Please don't make fun of me.
I won't.
Okay. What happens to us when we die? That's a good question, isn't it?
It's very good.
Realistically, there are 3 scenarios. Number 1, nothing happens. You're rot and you get eaten by little baby worms and they shite you out the other side. If that's the case, then I'm okay with it. My motto has always been that if I die, you can bag me, bin me, or feckin' bang me for all I care. I ain't gonna feel it. If you want to make use out of me, stick me up in EJ's window with trendy gear on and look at the finest with the rest of all the mannequins. Just not Jack and Jones. Jesus, Mary and St. Kendy don't put me in Jack and Jones. I often thought I would have loved to have been stuffed and kept in residence with either Nicola or some very close friends. You could shove some kind of an Alexa device up my arse, but call it the Kendy, and I could be sitting in the corner of your room, and then the lads could say stuff like, Kendy, what time is it? Or, Kendy, what's the weather like today? Or, Kendy, what's the score in the match? To all of which I would answer, check it yourself, you old bitch.
Right.
What kind of crack would that be going on, by the way?
Freaky.
Imagine me sitting in the corner of the room with a fucking Alexa shoved up my arse, but it's my voice, though. Anyway.
Okay.
Number 2, though, is that we all go to heaven. Whatever that might look like. To me, heaven looks like a tremendous park that's always around 30 degrees and it's full of the finest young ones you can imagine. And I land up there with Nicola, looking at all the young ones. And then when we get to the gate, she turns to me and she says, go on, you were good enough down below, go and enjoy yourself. Like when you'd be walking by an old beach playground when you're on holidays as a kid and your mammy'd say, go on, Go on the swing, sure.
I
You're
was
on your
wondering where you
holidays.
were going with that. Like when you were walking by a beach playground. You talked about looking at young ones and then you went to a beach playground.
Well, this is it, you see. Your mother would say to you, go on the swing, look, we're on our holidays, ride it till your little heart's content. And Nicola would actually say the same line about the young ones.
Right.
It sounds so gorgeous. The third option is hell.
Okay.
Everybody has their own idea of what hell might be, but to me it just looks a lot like Dublin.
Oh, that's very good.
That's what I got into this week. I mean, a hot topic like of
Did
what
you think
happens.
about it? Did you actually think about it?
I actually did think about it, genuinely.
What
What
did-
happens when we die? There's 3 things that happens.
Well, there's 4.
Well, what's the 4th one? Did I miss one?
Purgatory,
Oh, purgatory, yeah.
which is literally a waiting room for one of the above.
Yeah, well, I mean, the idea actually is based on 2 things. Either nothing happens or something happens, really. And in the something happens, I thought there was 2 options, heaven or hell. In the nothing happens thing, if that's the case, and nothing happens, when I die, Ray, fuck me into the bin. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
On a very serious note,
Yes.
if you put up a rake of posters around the town, right, and put up a post on Facebook and says, just to let you know, folks, heaven is a real place. Yous are all going. There'll be a short 15-minute waiting period after you pass away, and then you will arrive at whatever you feel is the nicest thing you could possibly spend eternity in.
Yeah.
Right? And for you, it's obviously a park full of young ones.
I'm thinking about it now, Ray. Feck's sake.
Yeah. So that's that. Imagine if you told everybody that.
Yeah.
Would the Catholic Church and all the faiths lose a few followers?
Would you not think they'd gain them?
No, but this is the thing.
Oh, if it was only heaven.
No, but if you knew now that heaven was happening
Yeah.
and you were going,
Yeah.
why would you bother going to mass?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing is that heaven and hell have to come together.
But
Because otherwise we'll be chaos down here.
But didn't they do it lovely?
Yeah, there has to be a fear.
See, we're helping you to get to heaven is
Yes.
what the church does.
Yeah.
Says, you stick with us,
Yeah.
we'll get you into
Well, that's what all religions do.
it is.
That's what all religions do. And that's what was it when Protestantism came in and
They just did it slightly different.
yeah, but they said to a lot of other religions, look, like if you give us a few pounds, like we'll make sure you get in. What was that called again? What was that thing when you'd be paying?
Which now?
You'd be paying your way into heaven. What the
Oh.
shite in hell was that called? Anyway, you have to have that fear in religion of you're not going to heaven unless you do this thing.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
And there's somewhere way worse where Little Nas rides you down below. Did you see the crack with Little Nas?
I didn't.
Shite in hell. He was riding above on top of the devil, man.
Who is Little Nas?
Little Nas is a gentleman.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I think he is of the homosexual variety. And he released a video. He released Old Town Road.
Oh, the one with the Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus. And I heard this from Shane Gillen was actually telling me this one. Little Nas releases Old Town Road with Billy Ray Cyrus, and Middle America love him. They say Little Nas is some boy. We don't know who he is, but we like him because he released a country song. Yeah, America. Yeah, that was the reaction.
Lovely.
Then he releases, a year later, he says, if you love me so much, wait to see what I have coming for you now, boys. So, Jesus Christ, I'm going to ride up on top of the devil and I'm going to go on the stripper pole.
But would Middle America not enjoy that?
Do you know, have you watched documentaries in your lifetime?
But you look at it, I mean...
I don't think they took it that way.
Right.
I think they went a different direction with it. They said,
didn't
how
like
dare
it.
you put this on me television?
Okay.
But there was great points made about it, though, with Little Najin, right?
Right.
Someone said, why are we all getting up in arms about Little Najin? Above and top of the devil. He said, when I was young in South Park, I saw Saddam Hussein be in a sexual relationship with the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that came to mind.
But see,
there.
it was from a comedy thing, you see. Little Najin knew that it was going to get that reaction, you see.
Does Little Nas know you call him Little Najin?
Well, I hope he changes it to that, actually. I think it has a way better ring to it. Little Najin, he knew that he was going to cause that
Sounds
kind
like
of
something from
controversy.
Aladdin.
The little Aladdin. Aladdin. Anyway, he knew he was going to cause that kind of controversy, you see.
Right.
And that's what he done. But what we talking about before, there has to be that idea of a God-fearing thing. And that's why there can't be a heaven without a hell.
That's why I was saying that if you took all that out, the whole thing would fall apart.
But it works for me, though. Because if hell is what I think about it in my head and it just looks like Dublin, I want to be good in my life then.
Okay.
So that I can go to heaven instead and get the young ones.
Right. And do you think heaven is I was going to say a half pipe.
Heaven is
a place on earth. Yeah, I could go with that either.
I think heaven is just full of my favourite things. And
You think it's going to happen? Would you have a belief in the heaven?
Whoa. Here's one for you, right?
Right.
I think you may live your life as if it is the case. That heaven and hell are there.
Okay.
Now.
Keeps you between the ditches.
Well, it does, yeah. And like you get you get a good moral compass from the Catholic Church. I know that sounds crazy with some of the stuff they've done in their illustrious history.
Crusades.
But you do. That's where you get your moral compass from.
Yeah.
We learnt the little stories in the Live O when we were kiddings, Ray.
But do you really think that there's going to be a...
See, no one's ever asked me that question before.
Well,
Come on now, step out and tell me the truth.
Yeah, tell me the truth.
I think probably nothing happens.
Oh.
But I still live as if something does happen.
Because if you didn't think something was going to happen, you're going to get awful panicky about when you go.
Well, imagine if you landed up, right? And he says, I heard you didn't believe we were here, Kendy. And I'd be like, no, I did. I was only messing St. Peter. I knew you were here all along. And he goes, no, you're going down. You're going to ride little Najin and the devil.
You're going to be in a three-way
you know what I mean?
Conversation.
Saddam Hussein as well, you know? Anyway, that was Kendy's journal this week anyway.
That was very nice. I enjoyed that.
Thanks a million, Raybo. Come here. Anything else before we go that we do need to talk about, no? We do need to actually give some shout-outs, you know.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we might as well just do them now, right?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, so the first one is a fella called Gaffney. And then we have another one.
That's its full name, is it?
Gaffney. But
that's what everybody calls him.
And the second guy then is a fella called Gaffney.
Right.
Are these boys related or not?
They could be.
We got 2 messages during the week, right? We got one from Sean Gaffney who said that he had binge listened, like we said there all the time. And he asked for a big old sexy shout out. So Sean, a big old sexy shout out to you. He said he's nearly listened to every episode in 3 weeks. That's
poor
mental.
fella.
Feck's sake. What's wrong with you? So that was Sean Gaffney. And then we got Brian Gaffney coming in the same way. He said, how you lads been loving the podcast, binging from the very beginning. Any chance of a shout out from Brian down in Cavan. Or for Brian down in Cavan, I should say. Do we know if those Gaffneys are related or not?
We put that out there to find that out.
We just need to know. We need to know because we like to get to know our listeners. So a big shout out to the 2 Gaffneys. Fair play to you boys.
Fair play to them.
Do you want to wrap it up?
Have you anything else?
No, not really.
Unusual, isn't it?
Fecked. What about it?
Should like...
Oh, do you know what we must say to you actually before we go?
What's that?
Is that me and Ray have been contemplating what extra content is supposed to be for Patreon listeners, right? Which is patreon.com/Kendy and Raybo podcast.
Right.
We're thinking about running a 5K. I know what you're thinking out there, lads. You're going, but sure, I could run a 5K and be sleep. Yeah, but Kendy and Raybo can't, right? Well, actually, I can't. And it worries me that you can.
I just about can't at the minute as well.
So what are you talking?
I'd have to take like 14 breaks.
Okay, well, you're on the same page as me then.
Yeah, we do a good 5K like.
So we might video that and wallop it up on Patreon. Do you want to see us sweating and bollocking?
Who's going to run in front of us? Or is someone going to drive beside us?
No, we'll whip out the cameras ourselves. We'll hold on to them. I'm thinking that it might distract us from the fact that our arse is falling out the back of us. Do you know what I mean?
There's no way you're going to be able to run a 5K and hold the camera out in front of you the whole way. That's a shit video.
No, but you don't need to have the whole fucking thing. We're not going to video the whole 5K. It'll be 2 hours long.
Can we not do it?
Fuck
we not do a Tour de France job and get Tierney inside in the...
You want to get someone inside in like a Jeep following us along
just
the
driving
way.
in front.
But we're not running on the road, you bollocks, either.
Why not?
What do you think we're going to take over the whole town?
Where are you going running?
We'll go running around Dorley Park, right? Run a 5K, videos. A little bit of it and see how it goes. Well, because we need to be challenging each other, I think, is the big thing. Because I'll sit here and get fat with you if that's the case. Do you know what I mean, though?
It's a good chance that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. We're going to get fatter than ever.
Yeah.
And you're going to get fatter than ever as well. And is that what we want?
There's a lot of Lucas 8 and Chalk Ice rappers I'm seeing behind you.
Stop judging me, man. Right? Fuck that. Lucas 8 helps me concentrate and call it UCA.
That's a lie.
What? It does.
No, look, when I was your age...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You've never said that to me before.
I know.
You've never said to me before when I was your age.
a young lad, there was a phase I went through where I used to drink loads of Lucozade and eat loads of Turkish Delight.
Oh, but which Turkish Delight though?
Not the fries one.
Not the stupid one. Yeah, the other one. I'm the same.
Yeah, but I thought that used to help me. It didn't. It gave me a lifelong stomach problem.
I used to go to the shop every single day in Castlereagh. And I'd get a bottle of BPM. You remember BPM? Oh, she was gorgeous. I'd get a bottle of BPM, a bag of prawn cocktail, and a Turkish Delight as well, Ray.
Right.
But that doesn't stand you. I know what you're saying. That does not stand you when you end up going a couple of sizes up.
Yeah.
So we need to keep on top of each other. Now, I'm not going to get on top of you.
That's what I was hoping.
But, I mean, I'd be on top of you, though, mess far. I'd be riding you, man.
Right.
You know, to get this fucking thing done. So, we should probably look into that then.
We look into that.
And the other shite that you'd like to see on Patreon, because you do have a good few years on there and we haven't used it, you haven't utilised it fully yet.
We need to put some stuff up.
We need to put some stuff up. Don't forget, lads out there as well, to listen to the Event by podcast on Thursday. And
don't forget, people out there, that at some point, the world is going to open back up. And we're going to have stuff to talk about.
I doubt it.
Do you not think so?
No, feck it, doesn't matter though.
Right. Thanks very much for listening.
Fair play to me.
Fair play to me.
Good luck.
Good luck.